Welcome to the Financial Wellness Academy, educating and empowering you to master your money so that you can live the life that you desire. My name is Katrina Ellis, and on today's vlog, we're going to talk about money being taboo or not, and how to have those money conversations with your children. Again, with this, there are countless approaches to this. There are a million different ways that people will choose to approach this or not. So, what I share with you is my own personal perspective based on how I do money personally and the interactions I have with my children. I have three children who are 15, 13, and 10 currently. And for all of their lives, money has always been a very open subject with them. What I see happening elsewhere with kids and money is that the topic is avoided. It is deemed to be something that is inappropriate for their age and stage. It is deemed to be something that's too complicated or comprehensive for them to understand, and they are kept away from any money worries. So my experience has been very different with my children. What I've chosen to do is to have age appropriate conversations with them about all sorts of money topics. And it has served so far really well. And I guess it's one of those subjects, a bit like, other contentious areas of religion, politics, sex, mental health, things that people would prefer not to talk about in the open. And my belief is that anything that you try and hide, you restrict, it becomes all the more attractive. So, money, in my opinion, is something that we all need to varying degrees in our lives. And why would we not talk about it in our families, in our homes? So it's something that we regularly talk about. It comes up in all guises, from basic questions that kids have in terms of, I want XYZ. And my question will always be, is that a need or is it a want? So if it is a need, then it's something that I take care of. If it's a want, that is something I leave them to come up with an idea as to how they can get what it is that they want. So I don't demonize wants. I say, yeah, absolutely, there are things that I want. And when I want something, here's what I do. I find a way for me to have the funds to buy it or to access it. So I will say to them, right, okay, well, okay, you'd like this. So have you got any money from your birthday left over? Is Christmas approaching? Could you put it on your Christmas list? Is there something that you already have that you're not using that you could sell? What are other ways that you could generate the funds? Maybe take on a job, do a little project that earns you some money. So I will put it back to them and get them to come with the idea as to how they can generate the money for their wants. Their needs are taken care of by their dad and I. So that's a very simple distinction, and it's something they now it's drilled in their brain. So they will sometimes try and negotiate something that is, in my mind, a want, as being a very important need, and we'll have open discussion about that. And I will give them an explanation, and sometimes they demonstrate a good case, and it is a need, and so it's something I'll take care of. So it means that the conversation's open. There's no embarrassment or shame or awkwardness around discussing money. It's open. It's open book. Um, some of the other things really around it are often thought of by children as, being things that they wouldn't be of interest to. So they have witnessed me over the last number of years acquiring 8 buy-to-lets in a very short space of time. They have heard lots of the different conversations as I've been on the phone with my business partner, with the banks, with solicitors, with the various parties involved in those processes. And they have gleaned little bits of information as to how that all works. Do they understand all the ins and outs of it? No, they don't need to, but they are aware as to how the basic concept works, and it's a seed that is planted in them, and maybe in time it's something that they will go into. My eldest has already started to explore that space by watching what I'm doing, watching what interests him himself. He started to explore Rich Dad Poor Dad, so they have access to my reading materials in this space. They're left on the shelf, and they can help themselves if they desire to read that. It's not something I push, but the resources are available to him. He will listen to podcasts that talk about money like that talk about business, that talk about topics that interest him. So it's something that he's driving himself. He's choosing resources to educate himself on that appeal to him. And that's amazing. To me, that is how children can do money when they're just left to it, when we have open conversation around it. The other side of it is that when you experience money challenges, as in 2020, when COVID hit our household, our one income was wiped out overnight. There was no employer substitute or supplement, and we were left with about £400 per month for a family of five. Thankfully, because of all the work that I had put in as chief financial officer in the previous 5 years, we had savings there to deal with that. So we were able to draw a breath and go, okay, we've got at least a year's worth of expenses covered whilst we make a plan and figure out what we're going to do from here. So we openly discussed with them that some of the things that we had before, we were going to have to scale back until we got income coming back in again at a regular pace. There wasn't a sense of fear. There was a sense of treading carefully, of being aware that we had been hit by something quite substantial, but that assuring them we were not going to lose our home, we were always going to be able to have food, and we had plans in place to address getting that income back in place. And they saw several different things come in, and they saw me acquiring those buy-to-lets. They saw part of the house being transformed into an Airbnb to generate income. They saw me taking on students as another stream of income. They saw me doing several different things to counteract what had hit us. And along the way, there have been other little pieces like that when maybe we've lost money, made a deposit, not being able to get it back. We've talked about that openly as to what are the steps that you do when these kind of things happen. And that makes for a really healthy conversation. Like with any subject that is deemed to be impolite or inappropriate or whatever to discuss, it throws light on it. It lets them know that it is safe to have those kind of discussions. There'll be no judgment. We will discuss it. We will come up with ideas, and you can ask any questions at any stage. And that really gives them a sense of comfort, money. And from the three, they approach it very differently. So it's interesting to observe their strengths and challenges around it and to be able to support that. But creating a safe environment, I think, and being a model of financial wellness, a good model of financial wellness to your children is the best gift that you can give them. And I think I'll probably do another vlog in terms of gifting kids money. But for me, what I've outlined in today's vlog is really what creates a really robust foundation for children around money. And that is such a gift to give your children. Sadly, in general, it's not something that is taught in our education system. It absolutely should be, because we all have to deal with it at various stages of our lives, but it isn't. So the onus, in my opinion, as a parent, falls on me to make sure that I provide that education and that sense of openness with money to my children, so that they don't go out into the world clueless as to how they can do money. And one thing I forgot to mention is we have the facility here to have current accounts for all of them from the age of 11. So two of them already have those. They have their own Visa debit card. The money from their jobs goes directly into their account. Any birthday, Christmas money they receive goes directly into their account. That saves a lot of admin and messing from me. We can give the account details to relatives and it can go in directly. So that's a really great way for them to get started with the credit rating, understand how to manage an account, and a very practical way of giving them responsibility for their own financial wellness. So I hope that was helpful. I will cover some more pieces around this because it is massively helpful, I think, for any of you who are parents or who have loved ones of a young age in your lives. So I hope that was helpful. And as always, feel free to drop me an email, connect with me on social media if you found this helpful, or comment below. Thanks for watching and see you soon.